So I saw CB found 7 different receivers, and the week before he found 9 different receivers.
Yeah.
It seems this is really working for him, this offense. He seems to really click in it.
Yeah, he's had a really good, first 3 weeks. Credit to him, but also a credit to the offensive line, and then a number of receivers we do have that have just stayed focused and have prepared and been ready when their number is called.
And through 3 games, a 72% completion. We were looking up. It's like he's really finding his way.
Yeah, no, that's a good completion rate, and multiple targets to throw it to just makes us better on offense, so they can't focus on one certain individual. So been pleased. We're also like +8 in the turnover ratio, so that's benefited both sides of the ball in our team. Just some really good collective efforts throughout the course of the season thus far, and came up a little bit short in the first game, but it's been a bit of a grind these first 3 weeks with really tough teams we've played, and last Saturday was difficult. Not only from them being well-coached, good football team, but also from a 12 o'clock kick. Had been raining, humid, grass. Both teams were exhausted.
Yeah.
Both teams were exhausted when it was all said and done.
Right. And I see that, going based off of the passing yards and rushing yards, this is very balanced. 195 passing, 210 rushing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those rushing yards are coming from the dynamic duo of Devlin Wortham and Ronnie Green. Mm-hmm. How do you manage the workload between the 2 running backs?
Well, I think they have an understanding that's a really great room, not only those 2, but all the other running backs. It's really a great room, and they have an understanding of the position. There's 11 guys trying to take a shot at you every time you carry the ball, and then we have 11 games. So I think they realize the benefit of maybe not assuming the entire workload and their ability to be fast throughout the course of the season and fresh.
So one guy gets a big run, then take a breather, boom, right. So it's right
no
back.
Doubt.
It's perfect.
And then they just kind of look at each other, and they kind of have an idea. And
1-2
coaches
punch.
are kind of gauging as well because, some look at it like, well, just handing the ball and he runs with it. But hanging on to that with 11 guys and making a miss and getting hit almost every play is easier said than done.
Now, do you say that they're both kind of the same type of running back? Because, in some college and NFL games, you'll see where they'll have a speed back and then they'll have a power back that comes in, goal line formation or something.
Yeah.
Are they the same
No,
type of running
they're
back?
relatively similar, but have some differences. Both very capable. I think the change of pace is having the ability to keep them fresh throughout the course of a game. Somewhat fresh.
We saw we scored 42 points, but I don't think that's really the thing to talk about is how good the defense really was.
Yeah, and their offense was really solid. Good quarterback who was capable with his feet, and not to take away from offense any, but the defense is playing on a softer, almost damp surface, and you can imagine you're reacting to everything and the toll it takes on your body. So their offense did have some success up and down the field from a yardage standpoint, but we just were capable of making some huge plays when we needed them the most. And then, at halftime, I was a little concerned about the heat and fatigue, and was just hopeful that the offense could come out and put a long drive together, and they put like a 6-minute drive together and helped our defense be able to sit over there and get recovered a little bit.
And damp grass too, and 3 interceptions off that. So
yeah, Raheem Wilson, I think, is maybe 1 away from the school record possibly.
He's 1.
And then Luke Craddock, probably his first and second pick of his college career. So proud of those guys. I'm sure Coach Burks would tell you that he wished they would have finished better because they end up driving down and scoring late. But we don't make excuses around here. But both defenses were extremely tired at that point in time.
Now, do you think do you think that your team could have done more? Because we also look at how much the margin of victory was for y'all, but we also see that there was 14 penalties for 120 yards.
Yeah, I think we went, from the least penalized team in the conference to too many on Saturday. So some of them were controllable. You don't like to see guys jump off sides, but if you watch enough football, you're going to see it at every level, and probably saw it yesterday on Sunday. And but just the ability to focus and move forward after making those mistakes is really the most important thing. And I've never coached a perfect game. I've never played in a perfect game, and generally the team with the least amount of mistakes comes out ahead. So we may have more penalties, but our execution in some areas were probably a little bit better than theirs were, and we held on to the football and they gave it away.
What's the game plan going into Southern Nazarene?
Working on
Win.
But the game plan every day is just to be the best us. And that starts with them individually and having that mindset of being the best they can be in not only what we're trying to do, but just on and off the field and developing those type of habits to put yourself in a position to be successful. It doesn't guarantee it, but it puts you in a position where when you complete that game, you can feel good about your approach to it, the days leading up to it, the work you put in, and allow that to define us.
So it's homecoming next week, so that always makes for a pretty good crowd. So
yeah, you would hope that there's a good crowd, and it should make for a good crowd, but also make for some possible distractions with the things going on this week. So that'll be something that we're discussing. And if we're going to be the team we talk about being, then some homecoming activities shouldn't be a distraction to what we've got to get done, because that's kind of the grand finale of the week is the game. So hopefully we can put a product out there everyone's proud of.
Inch closer to 3-1.
That's the plan.
You got any more? No, I'm good. All right.
Let's see if we respond to others.
Thank you, Coach.